You didn't like that?
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Danny Palm says we're live.
So we missed all that?
When Danny
We
Palm
did.
says we're live, then we're live.
I'm going to go in the other room and listen to this stream, just make sure that audio
Good.
situation is cool.
Yeah, check it out. We're not actually live, guys. We're pre-live. Like, this isn't the actual. We're just like going live before we actually start at noon.
The show before the show.
This is the show before the show. As Danny, can
I
you
think
give a
there's
proper
something there.
greeting?
Hello, people.
There we go. Things are better now.
But I think you just stumbled onto something right there, Danny, with the show before the show.
Yeah.
We need to.
I always say that. Don't I say that a lot? The show before the
We
show?
used to do that where we would record afterwards, after the podcast, when we were doing MMA Fancast. But we
Yeah.
never did anything with it.
Yeah, we just kept, just in case we wanted it. I say when you don't go live, you keep recording. I always think anytime we're in this room, we need to be recording so we can like hold each other hostage.
I could hear you.
Remember
on
when
the
you
stream,
said this off camera?
unfortunately.
You could hear what?
I could hear you on the stream perfectly, unfortunately.
Oh, that's really funny. I mean the look you have.
What a jokester.
Okay, I'm gonna get a coffee before this starts.
Nice.
So we're live, though.
We are technically
And
live.
he's-
People can tune in right
Can
now.
you get 2 coffees?
3? I thought maybe he couldn't do 2. Like maybe he could only do odd numbers of coffee. All right, let's share this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are technically live, but if you're tuning in for the big announcement, we are not going to make that until noon. This was just, we'll give you guys the full behind the scenes. At the Harley-Davidson dealership before 513 Fight Night where we did our weigh-ins, we had an issue with our mixer routing the audio into our video switcher into the computer. Somewhere along the way, we were losing audio, so we had an issue there, needless to say. Thought we had it fixed, did a test, it sounded good. We started this early just to make sure the audio was all good, and it does seem to be fixed, so I think we got this figured out. Little different setup. I don't know why we had to switch the way we had it set up. I don't get technology. I don't understand these things, but we got it figured out, and here we are for you, kind viewer. Oh, that was so loud
That
in my
was, yeah.
ears. Oh my god, that was an
So
absolute
Danny
blast.
coined a new phrase. Maybe this is what we do, or you, because I'm not really on podcasts that often anymore.
Okay,
Like that.
What do we got?
That ship has sailed for me. I did a couple hundred with. So really, doing podcasts with Ryan is what killed it for me. I enjoy doing them with you and other guests,
yeah.
but having to deal with him like in close proximity is difficult.
He does kind of kill your will to live in general.
The truth in that statement is so powerful.
You got to laugh about it because if you don't, that's the only other option is actual death. So like you got to just laugh about it and deal with it. It's like smile through the pain.
And if he was here when you said that, he would have responded in a way that would affirm what you had said.
For sure. For
So-
sure. He's probably responding out there making coffee.
Yeah, our viewers and listeners would be able to get that. But I'm going back to what
Yeah,
I
I was
was
gonna
saying
say,
before.
what was
the
the phrase?
show before the show?
Oh,
So
the show before the
Yeah.
show. This is where all the fun stuff happens. And should there be a show after the show too?
247 after hours.
after, look at him. Danny's on it today.
That's-
He's on it every day, though.
He is. Is Danny Palm ever not on it? Danny Palm on the case 100% of the time.
I have never asked Danny for something and not got an answer.
Boom. Danny Palm. Top. I'm trying to throw something at you and I got nothing real great. Sprawl in the Berg 2, October 20th. Fantasy matchmaking. If you could make one match happen for Sprawl in the Berg 2, you can get as crazy as you want. Like it could be Khabib versus GSP or something. Get as crazy as you want. But who would you want at Sprawl in the Berg 2?
Oh, jeez.
You can hear the espresso machine grinding beans out there if you listen very close. Oh, it's done.
I don't know. I've always said, dream that I'd like to see this. Jordan Burroughs. If we could have gotten him. against anybody, to be honest. Like, I don't care who it is.
Would you want? See, for me, just my combat sports, like more of an MMA fan. I would want Burroughs versus like a high level MMA grappler.
yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Like Burroughs versus Khabib would be insane. What does Burroughs weigh? What would he sprawl at?
About 165.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So that could be perfect. Although I think Khabib weighs like 200 pounds now.
Yeah.
Maybe Burroughs versus like Damian Maia.
Maybe 175. There's probably some wiggle room.
Yeah, dude. Jason Nolf versus. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we could, there's something. Yeah, might have to work on that one. For me, I would do something like coming off of what we did for Sprawl. Is like the atmosphere was tremendous. The crowd was super into it. The matchup was a great one considering who we had. Local, big time favorite with so many people, and then a throwback for UFC somewhat when we had Isaac Greeley versus Gray Maynard.
So good, dude.
If we could start something like an Isaac versus series,
Oh, I know.
and we bring
I
in
know. And there are so many good options, man. Isaac versus Gray Part 2, Jared Billy said that's his pick. So there you go. I mean, that is rematch worthy. Isaac was coming on towards the end. I think that as a 10-minute match.
10 minutes, yeah.
Christian Swanson said Krause versus Hunter. Why you want to do that to me, Christian? Like, you already know what that guy can do. I don't want that.
You got
I'm
the
not
fight shorts, Hunter.
Yeah, dude. I got my Venom shorts ready to go. I'm not doing that. No way.
You're wearing them underneath, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The start.
You did. We started without you. We are fantasy matchmaking right now, Ryan. The question is Sprawl in the Berg 2. You can snap your fingers and make literally any match in the world happen. What do you want? It could be anybody.
Wow.
It could be like Elon Musk versus Zuckerberg. Whatever.
That's kind of a loaded, wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a lot
loaded.
of. I don't know. I would say, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg on Sprawl would probably draw.
I would say they would sell some pay-per-views.
So I'm going to go, as a promoter, I'm going to go with that. Maybe like Jesus versus like Superman, if we're going to
Whoa.
fantasy match make.
Whoa.
I'm taking Jesus.
I'll take
yeah.
Jesus all the way too, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think
Dang.
Superman would be a good draw too, though.
So Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, I think we could get Zuck. Musk would be
Did you
the
just
tough
call him
one to-
Zuck?
He did.
Yeah.
They're on a first name,
Yeah.
nickname basis.
Who thinks they can just say that?
Me and old Zucky
There's
boy.
That's Buck Mooney.
Yep.
Can you bump me a little
Or
bit?
Zuckerberg versus I can't
I'm an
remember
old
his last
man.
name. Tom.
Jared
Tom
Billy
from-
calling me out.
Me and Danny Palm. Nice. Jared Billy wants Danny Palm.
Wait, he
Let's
wants to
go.
fight him?
Heck yeah, Sprawl in the
Oh,
Berg too.
sprawl. He wants to sprawl.
He
with
said he would hurt me though. I don't think Danny Palm would hurt you. I get the sense that
He would insult you.
he would insult
would
you.
insult you,
exactly.
yes,
Might hurt
so.
your feelings. He won't physically hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hurt his feelings.
He's writing down insults now.
Yeah, he's right. I'll definitely hurt his feelings.
So, folks, we did announce that we're going to make our biggest announcement to date. That is going to happen. We just want to make sure the people that are late are tuned in. So we will get to that very soon.
Promise. You want to announce a fight in the meantime? Just give him like a little carrot, like just
I mean,
a little
I don't-
bite, a little nib.
I don't know what is like. You guys
Bro.
are going to have to announce that because I don't know what's signed and what's not signed and what's agreed, verbaled, and all that stuff.
What if we gave them a fight that's signed for December? What if we did
Is
that?
are both sides signed?
Yep, done deal.
It's done. That's a great fight announcement.
December 16th. So we do have, just if you're catching up, we do have October 20th, Sprawl in the Berg 2, and October 21st, Sprawl in the Berg 18. Those are the next immediate events, but we do have December at the Monroeville Convention Center also locked in. December 16th will be Brawl in the Berg 19. The day before will be Sprawl in the Berg 3. For the MMA show in December, we have a signed fight.
Yeah. So that means our first show in 2024 is going to be the MMA show, anyways. Is Brawl in the Berg 20?
20. Pretty cool.
Man.
Pretty cool.
Can we do something special for that?
Probably.
Like
I
number
think it'll
20?
be pretty special.
20. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Because technically it'll be like our 22nd or 3rd show.
Yeah, it'll be our
3rd.
overall.
23rd.
Well, are we MMA show?
Yeah. I don't count Sprawl in that.
Yeah.
like,
So we
count.
had the 2 shows in Johnstown. We had the show in Cincinnati. Like, so we'll have to have a countdown
Yeah.
of different events and whatnot. I think they do a
Wait. What are we? This one's going to break. Is this one going to break the Pittsburgh record?
I don't
18?
know.
We need to look at that again. I think it is.
We've taken a look at
Are you able to check that out, Danny, while we're
promotions like Gladiators of the Cage and
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle that were, led the way prior to 247.
I think Pinnacle got to 18.
Pinnacle got to 18,
I think Gladiators has it. It's either 20 or 21. The record.
and then this would be 18 for us in Pittsburgh. So I don't know what you're talking about.
21
But-
overall, though.
But Gladiators,
Yeah, I guess.
Gladiators had shows in Johnstown, and
Yeah.
they had some shows out, maybe in Altoona. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they had some shows outside of Pittsburgh.
we got
We're not-
research to do.
We're not counting our Johnstown shows in that 18, so we'll have to
Okay.
figure that out to make it.
If we want to stick to Pittsburgh proper shows,
Well-
that changes things.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Washington, PA,
Right.
Cannonsburg,
Right.
Monroeville, like
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, greater Pittsburgh
Sure.
area.
sure. Brawl in the Berg. If it's
So-
called Brawl in the Berg, it counts.
We're like in Monroeville. Yeah, that's how we. If there's aren't called Brawl in the Berg, then it doesn't count.
Right.
So they have 0.
So they had
Yeah, yeah.
Gladiators of the Cage had 21 shows, and one of them was in Ohio.
But wasn't one of them in Johnstown too,
Yes.
or at least one? They might have multiple shows in Johnstown.
So they're down to 19.
And didn't
right
they
off
have
the
show
bat.
in Greensburg? Maybe
They had a couple shows in Butler,
Butler. That
No,
I'd
I would
include
count that, yeah.
I'd include that. Pittsburgh.
Cheswick,
That
Included.
counts for sure.
Williamsport.
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 They went to Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Playoffs.
Little League World Series.
Didn't that
Williamsport.
sound like
Williamsport.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we already have.
We
the
got
record.
it, I guess. Huh. All right. Congrats, guys.
Yeah.
That wasn't a. Yeah, sweet.
That was very anticlimactic.
was. It really was.
Well, let's take you to something that's more has more energy than that.
yeah.
Like an announcement?
Yeah.
A fight announcement for December 16th. Hunter was going to take it.
I think Jim should take it.
Jim's matching these, so he gets to. He
Well,
gets
I
to
like
get
the way that
glory.
you're building it up.
Yeah. You got to build this thing up real quick. Chris Hustleton says Butler counts, and I agree, Hustleton.
Yeah.
Butler totally counts.
You're on track. You got the right. We counted it. We said we counted
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
We didn't count Johnstown.
Right. It's far. 2 hours.
We didn't count
whatever.
Johnstown for us either. Just
Right,
to be
right,
clear.
right. But December 16th, MMA, Brawl in the Berg 19. We already have a fight signed.
And so this is a great amateur fight, like, and these are big boys. Like it's exciting, and neither one has ever lost at this weight class.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah. Yep. Very true. And all knockouts at this weight class. I think. Yeah. Wow.
This is
dirty.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
And you could say what you want, but there's some rivalry with
Oh,
these
yeah.
two gyms.
Oh yeah. All right, Jim. Do the
think it's
do
a
the
healthy
honors.
rivalry.
Do the honors and rip this Band-Aid off for the good people. I hope Christian Swanson's still tuned in. 'Cause he'll like this.
All right, let's say it. If you're not going to say it, I will.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like, go ahead.
It's now
I
been built
allow
up.
you.
All right, I'm not saying
I think
it.
we built it up
Yeah,
too much
I don't
now.
know.
You guys don't need to know.
No one cares anymore. They're past caring.
So
Is it in the registry though?
It is.
yeah, it's approved and everything. So in David Krause's post-fight interview in Cincinnati at 513 Fight Night, he got a 23-second TKO victory and immediately took the mic. Rule number 1, fighters, if you're going to make a call out in the cage, have a name in mind. Everybody knows that. Call out a guy. Don't say, I'll fight whoever they give me. That's dumb. Nobody cares about that. Say a guy.
You're wasting mic time. Use your mic time well.
Yep. Kraus used it very well.
He did.
And called a particular fighter out who not a lot of people are calling out. Mr. GOAT James Padmore from Stout, 3-0, all knockouts, looking like one of the best light heavyweights in the area, one of the best light heavyweight amateurs in the nation, quite frankly. Kraus called him out. James accepted. Stout accepted. The shop accepted. Kraus accepted. That thing is signed, sealed, and delivered. We're going to have a massive 205-pound fight at the Monroeville Convention Center in December.
Could there be a knockout?
If that doesn't end by knockout,
suggests,
yeah, 5 fights at 205 between them and 5 knockouts. Actually, Padmore's first fight might have been at catchweight, 215 or so. I'm not sure. Either way,
against Ray, was it?
Yeah. Either way, I mean, or no, it was Eric Ondrejik.
That's right.
Ondrejik. I'm not sure how you say his last name. Sorry, bro.
Sorry,
dog. But yeah, that's a sick fight. Christian Swanson says his money is on David Kraus. So there's one fight prediction coming in. I love it, dude. Jim Mooney, that's a good job. You strike while the iron's hot. Both
Some
guys won it.
inside info on that one. I think Padmore has he's got to have the record for the quickest signing of a bout agreement because I sent it to him and I barely had time to refresh and it came back as signed already by him.
We like to see that. We know the guys really want those fights when we get those bout agreements returned immediately. That's fun.
For sure. I also love with this fight being so far out still, December 16th, that they're going to be ultra prepared for that. Like, that's a lot of time to get ready for a fight. There'd be no excuses on that one.
Can we get a little insider on this? Why did that fight not take place in October? So was there, like, they just wanted more time to prepare, or do we know?
There is a reason. I don't know that we should put it out there, though. Yeah.
Gotcha. No worries. I just was curious what, like, if there was a...
The easiest explanation there is that it
worked out best.
That both teams wanted, and that was the date that worked out best.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Sounds brilliant. Brilliant.
Mike Brell says Padmore all day.
All day, every day. I think there's going to be lots of people thinking one way or the other.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to predict. When you got guys, knockout artists like that, where anything can happen at any second, that's a coin flipper for me too. And Kraus, like, let's not discredit Kraus's newness to the game. He's extremely raw in terms of training regularly and preparing like an actual MMA career. He has all the freak natural athleticism and power.
The thing I was most impressed about was at Sprawl.
Yes.
What Kraus's grappling has come such a long way, because, I mean, David is known for his power, his hands, his quickness at such a large weight that seeing him do it without the stand up,
yes,
and just come a long way with that grappling. It was very impressive.
Could not agree more. Against a really, really good wrestler and grappler like Kane Patron, I honestly would have said going into that, I would have favored Kane in that bout for sure. Because I didn't realize Kraus's wrestling and grappling came that far that fast. That was
wrestling coach, yeah.
Impressive, man. Super impressive.
We're moments away from the biggest announcement in 247 Fighting Championships history. We just announced a huge fight for our December 16th card, Brawl in the Berg 19 in at the Monroeville Convention Center. David Kraus and James Padmore squaring off, the shop versus Stout, Pittsburgh, and we're so stoked about that. And we have a big announcement.
Big boy announcement.
We are 15 minutes in. If people haven't tuned in yet, they're not going to.
Yeah, the Yins just missed that.
Well, I thought we were going to announce something for the October show.
We can do that, too.
We can do that. Let's do that. Let us... Any predictions on what the announcement is, put them in the comments wherever you're watching.
Phil, I'm not sure if this Phil from TKO, Phil Fromier, I'm not sure how you say your last name either, dude. Sorry. This is the episode where Hunter butchers last names. He said no prediction, but we all know it's going to be fireworks. So I don't know if he means our announcement or Kraus versus Padmore, but either way, you're right. both announcements and our fireworks for sure, Phil. Thanks for tuning in, brother. So, October 20th, Sprawl in the Berg 2. We've announced what is Gavin Teasdale versus Lucas Siebert recently. Insane. I mean, what more do you even need to say about that one? Insane. There is also a rematch signed for Sprawl in the Berg 2.
There is.
It's a rematch of a bout that never even happened. It was just booked and expected to happen and had a pull out very late on fight week. So you wanna reveal that one?
Was that?
We haven't announced it yet. Haven't published it yet. Anywhere, nobody knows but us and them and the fighters.
I like when he announces.
Okay.
The
He
live
put-
just
he
as
puts
just as an FYI, the live chat on 247 Live is not working.
Wow, that's dumb.
At least for me, it's not. Because I was gonna put any predictions in here, and it's not working.
You're gonna track our listeners, our viewers.
So if anyone's trying to comment in there,
It's working, I think. Yeah, it's working.
it's not for me on my computer.
Hoot Lee just said John Jones. I'm not sure. I forget what that's. Oh, who he would want to see grapple at Sprawl in the Berg too. I bet
Just the prediction is
John
Jones.
Jones. That's
I mean,
it. Yep, John Jones.
No, that those are different conversations.
Tyler Ament, the nutritionist at the Mat Factory, awesome dude. He said Padmore via Shadow Realm Destruction. Dang,
What does that mean?
that sounds like a Mortal Kombat finisher. Or
I mean,
something.
I want to see it, but
Yeah.
I just don't know what it means.
Dang, man, that's a pick for sure. I like it.
All right, are we announcing the brawl in the brawl?
Sprawl 2, we have a signed bout that was a matchup that was supposed to happen at Sprawl 1, and it did not. Late in the game there was an injury, but we rebooked it.
Yeah, he might not know.
Yeah, go ahead and say it, Jim.
So you're trying to get out of the name pronunciation.
I've messed up enough today.
So we have Maya Yankelo
Okay.
and Ekaterina Petra.
I don't know. It may have been
again.
great. It may have been on point. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. It sounded good. I couldn't have done better. That's for sure.
That's at is that brown? That's a brown belt.
So it's purple belt technically.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are those posters ready yet?
Yep.
So
All
we're gonna
good.
put them
Post
out
it
in the
right
next-
after this.
Well, we don't have to necessarily right after this, but guys, the thing is, get your tickets now for these events, because if you went to our last event, and that was in Monroeville with much more seating capacity,
Right.
the seating capacity at the Meadows is much smaller. So guys, get your tickets now. Don't wait, because you're not going to get good seats. I'm telling you right now. We sold out 3 weeks in advance the last time we were here. I don't anticipate 3 weeks in advance, but I do anticipate a sellout.
Yeah.
For both shows. Both shows.
Yeah. I mean,
Amen.
they're shaping up.
Yeah, the
very
MMA
beautifully.
show is already selling well.
Crazy.
And it's not to say that Sprawl is not, but just that's just to give you some comparison base, because Monroeville, we can house way more there, and that just kept selling and selling and selling and selling.
The funny thing is, Monroeville, like, we can't sell out.
Right.
Like,
Literally.
when we sell out, quote unquote sell out, like, we can add more tables. We
Right.
can add more. We can just add more.
Yep.
Like, we can't sell out there.
Yeah. Yeah. The space, like Bellator would have problems. selling
Bellator
that
would.
out.
UFC would struggle to sell. When
Yeah.
the UFC was in Pittsburgh, they'd sell about 8,500. You can get
You
close
could come
to that.
close.
there.
Yeah. You really could. Nicole, my lovely wife's prediction is that Ryan is having a baby. Could it be?
Like, not like my
No,
wife.
like you,
I am
physically,
having a
yeah.
baby. Woohoo!
I will say, all right, let's give Ryan a shout out, ladies and gentlemen, because if you noticed, he's slimming down. My dude's been on the keto diet, pretty strict. You've been pretty strict, pretty good about
yeah,
it, man. I can tell that you've lost
I'm
weight.
almost at 20.
Nice.
Almost at 20. 20
So,
pounds lost.
But the baby is going to add what?
That
20
baby
back.
weight's going to come back
For
on.
sure. Yeah.
sure.
Hunter Gerber is very stoked.
I'm
Put a
eating for
couple emojis
two,
in there.
okay? I'm eating for two.
Never mind.
Okay,
It's going to be mean.
we're 20 minutes in, guys. These people, they're on their lunch breaks.
Yeah.
They like heard 2 fight announcements that haven't been like. Do we have a fight announcement for Brawl in the Berg 12 or 18 rather?
We totally
Probably
do.
could. There's a pretty big one.
There's a few.
Okay, let's give our listeners a big one.
Give
Do we
them
have a big one
the
to give
big
away?
one?
Well, are you thinking the one that
Probably. Is there a small hurdle in the registry still?
there is, but like it's
Not
not,
really?
Really, yeah. It's signed.
All right, let's do that
Both
one.
sides are in,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
matter like what.
As long
Where
as
that bout goes.
as long as the hiccup with the commission, which isn't really
Yeah.
shouldn't be a hiccup.
We've been verbally told it's taken care of. It just hasn't like officially cleared in the database yet, but we have no reason for concern. I feel good enough about saying that one. I'll put it that way. So let's say it.
Even though it's a red button right now.
Let's say it.
Okay.
Stout debut versus a 2-1 fighter from the shop. Stout versus the shop again, just like Kraus versus Padmore.
Wrestling studs.
Wrestling absolute studs. Studs. We've got Tanner Cahill out of the shop, 2-1, coming back to the 247 FC cage to face Lucas Martin from Stout, making his debut. I've heard a lot about this kid. They're really high on him, obviously, because we'll put it out there. Stout had we've had guys turn down both Cahill brothers because they know their wrestling pedigree. They know how good they are. They're very aware of them. They're not going to throw somebody who's not ready to the wolves. Stout thinks Lucas Martin is very ready for this, and that makes me extremely excited for it, man. This is an absolute banger matchup. Trash talk is going to be out of control, I assume, and I can't wait for that too. Keep it, mostly respectful. That would be cool, but I'm all about some trash talk leading up to a fight.
mean, if you're not respectful, hey, we can't control you.
True. So Lucas Martin was a D2 national champ, which is crazy. Wrestling credentials. Tanner, obviously D1 wrestling, world's grappling experience. He's, I don't know what he is technically, a blue belt, but he grapples black belts all the time. Super high level grappler. This is madness in October. October 21st, to be clear. This is for October 21st, Brawl in the Berg 18, going down at the Hollywood Casino at the Meadows.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And it's just another matchup of 2 guys that, that have zero fear, had zero hesitancy signing it, had zero hesitancy agreeing to the bout. Like, those are fun. Those are guys they want to do it.
Yep, absolutely. So I did just get 2 texts that I want to address. Jesse Acton. Shout out Jesse Acton and the whole setup team.
We had a debrief meeting talking about 513 Fight Night, which just occurred this past weekend. You can catch the replay if you are one of our subscribers on 247 Live. That replay is available now for you. If you haven't seen the fight yet, that pay-per-view replay is also available on there. But it was a great night of fights. Those guys were faced with a task that is a task of all tasks. Set up a brand new cage you've never seen before in your life. Set up a new catwalk you've never seen before in your life. Instead of doing that the day before, oh, by the way, do that all in one day. Build it, go through the show, and tear it down all in one day.
Crazy. And they crushed it.
And they crushed it.
So they're awesome. He said he couldn't comment on 247 Live also. You have to be signed into your account to comment.
I was signed in.
You were?
I think you're just it
It worked for me. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
We'll make it work, bro. It's the first tab.
I got nothing.
It's the first tab.
All right.
All right.
The second text that I got that I need to address is Nicole said, "You guys should do the announcement. I have to leave my lunch break and I'm going to miss it." So let's do it.
All right, let's do the announcement. Here it is, folks. This is something that has been in the process since February. We started working on this particular thing, and it's been a long process. And it's actually not completely finalized. So keep your fingers crossed. This is a true game changer in every aspect of our business, of combat sports, of everything. the other day we finally came to an agreement with a venue in North Versailles to have our own venue. We will have this venue full time. We will be able to have events whenever we want. We will be able to have different types of events. We will be able to have grappling shows. We'll be able to have MMA shows. We'll be able to host other promotions shows, whether it be boxing or we have plans to start having youth jiu-jitsu tournaments, or not tournaments, but shows, super fights. We have major plans to start invitational wrestling events. We have big plans, folks. This is a complete and utter game changer. It's taken a long time. A lot of times we thought that this was a dead deal and it wasn't going to happen. Jim kept asking over and over again, like, what percentage do you think now? What percentage do you think now? And Hunter was ever the optimist, and my numbers got really low at one point. We are now like 99. We have verbally agreed. We have signed our intentions agreement. The lease should be available next week-ish. And we're going to have, we don't have a name for it yet. We're going to look into different sponsors that may want the naming rights. But for right now, we're going to call it 247 Venue because that's what our business.
I like it. Yeah.
That's what our business, when we did a business plan for this, we just had that filled in like 247 Venue. That's the big announcement, folks. It's a complete game changer. We were going to have MMA events in Western Pennsylvania at the same place at our own venue, and it is an awesome venue, by the way, guys. There's a balcony all the way around. It's a former movie theater. There's a full sports bar inside it. It's a huge place. It is going to be a complete game changer.
Yes. Yes, it truly is. So we're talking 247 Apex Center. Like, that's what it's going to be for us. The same way the UFC has utilized the Apex Center, that's how we're going to be able to utilize this. And it's super exciting. I don't know of any regional promotion that's gone down this path. I assume they have in the past. But for us and in Pittsburgh, like, game changer. That's the only way to put it. It changes so much for us. More regular events, more opportunities for you guys, for fighters, for fans, for sponsors, for everybody. And on top of that, it's just going to be a cool place to be. I mean, we're talking about the sports bar component of it. There will be some fun with the food and alcohol component of it. And besides MMA, you know, it's an event center at the end of the day. We're going to have cameras, lights, sound, all of that set up. It doesn't have to just be fights. So we'll leave it at that. Maybe some like comedy, for instance.
The comedy cage.
Comedy cage. And they can literally do stand-up in the cage. We'll take the walls down, leave like the back cage up so you got a little backdrop, and do your stand-up in the cage. Why not?
I like it.
I love how Nicole says, woohoo, like it was news to her. Like you had never mentioned it.
Way to
no
go.
idea.
You didn't tell her. That's nice. I told my wife as soon as Ryan said something to me.
Nice.
I told like a dozen other people too.
Oh, nice. So they already knew. Richie Canalina said, call it anything other than the Thunderdome, and I'm never coming. That's awesome.
Thunderdome it is.
Thunderdome it is, yeah.
Thunderdome.
Or we could call it, I bet you if we named it the Rich, actually, so the hugest shout out ever. So Isaac Greeley was talking to me one day. We were actually at, this is a couple months ago, at the North Hills Home Show. And he was there with the rehab center. Big shout out to rehab center. Yeah. And we were talking. He's like, "Hey, there's a guy I need to introduce you to. His name is Jim Carlisle, and he's a great guy. You really need to talk to him." Like, long story short, he puts us in contact with Jim Carlisle. Jim Carlisle kind of like started talking to us. He's a super high level attorney. At Dinsmore in downtown Pittsburgh, one of the partners there. awesome guy. We immediately fell in love with Jim and were like trying to figure out like how we work together. Jim was able to come to one of our shows, which was actually the Monroeville show, the last show, and he after that event said to us, "Wow, like I really like what you guys are doing. I was fearing that it would be like every other, event that I had been to, and it wouldn't be like what it is," and was super excited. Started helping us get this contract together. Started negotiating on our behalf with Mercedes or the venue. So he is really like, without Jim Carlisle, he has like been the biggest blessing ever. Thank you, Jim Carlisle. You were like an angel on our shoulder. You are like, so like, I can't thank him enough.
Crazy.
It was huge what he did for us and how he was able to make that happen. So if anyone's ever looking for Jim Carlisle's the man, he's the attorney of the year, the best guy. One of the, like, you meet this guy, I'm going to tell you straight up, like before we even did business together, Hunter and I had a discussion and we're like, this is a dude that I like totally trust. He's like a good guy.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing with us. And so just huge shout out to Jim, huge shout out to Isaac for that introduction. That was literally, without that, I don't think we have a deal.
I totally agree. I was kind of shaking my head, laughing the whole time you were talking, just thinking about everything he did for us and how much work he put in for us. And it's, yeah, like you said, it's a blessing. I can't say it any better than that.
Jared's asking you a question.
Jared Billy is asking, is this the old Distenta movie theater?
So I don't know if it was Distenta at one point, but it was the old, what's the theater in Bridgeville? Phoenix.
Yeah. It is. It's the Distenta one too. I think
it is. That is the building. It's in the back of the Mercedes Motorsports complex. It's massive. It's awesome, and this has been something that has been weighing on us for a long time now.
At least a year.
Yeah. So just to kind of back up. We had been looking at another space in Green Tree to do the same thing, and that fell apart. And we thought at one point it was happening.
Oh, for sure. Like actually felt better than we did at any point of this one until it happened. Yeah, for sure.
So if you want to keep your keep the naming ideas coming, we love the ideas that are coming in.
I love that. The Carlisle Center is nobody said that. I said that, but I think that's the name. Carlisle Center for everything he did getting that done.
Yeah, dude. Jim Carlisle. That's my favorite Jim in the whole world. Like there's no JIM quite like Jim Carlisle.
Nice.
Like I don't like every other Jim doesn't matter. Is like absolutely worthless except for that Jim. Right, Jim?
Nice. We'll move on for Jim's sake. Jared Billy says, that's awesome. Seriously, that's like 10 minutes from my house. Nice. That's beautiful. Submission grappling tournament for the first Sprawl event in the new house. Timbo Slice says, tournament. I like tournaments.
Guys, so keep your fingers crossed. If you're a praying person, pray for this deal to come through because everything's in place, just needs finalized, and all of the details, all of the meat has all been worked out. So we're super stoked. Can't wait.
I'm excited for all the potential. I mean, sponsor wise, there's going to be potential for new and different sponsors and different ways for us to help them. Like better ways for us to help them. Having permanence will allow us to do a lot of things that we can't do when we're on the fly. We're in Monroeville this week, Washington this week. We can have, there's a lot. We're going to discuss all of it and just the avenues, like I said, the food and beverage component is obviously a brand new world for us, but a very exciting world for us too, and for fans. I think the overall experience of a 247 show gets way better with this venue, and I'm already very proud of it. I think we do a fantastic job. I do, but it's going to hit an entirely new level here.
This is a complete game changer. We plan on like having pro wrestling shows, like not our own, but like hosting the promoters in the area, like who want a great venue to have their shows in. We plan on, like, there's so many things we can do here. I'm good friends with Cody Sable. Cody Sable is going to have, painting shows here, art shows. Like, the sky's the limit with what we can do here. We'll have eventually, I don't know how soon that'll all happen, but eventually we're going to have a full service, sports bar in there. It's going to be incredible. We're throwing around the idea of potentially having like a galley there.
Yeah.
Like having multiple, food options there. So who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be something very special, and I'm super excited.
This studio will be there eventually. We'll have this podcast studio be moved to the new venue. There's a room there that is just so cool for a podcast.
Yes, and we have some other things in the work with our television deal that will also be a room dedicated to that. So many exciting things. And well, we haven't, this is all new. Like, we haven't told them that we have the availability to add additional content
Right.
for them.
Yeah, totally.
They may, and
They
we,
may
that
want
may
that.
open, they may,
Yeah.
that may open up new opportunities for us. It's the sky's the limit. Guys, we're blowing this thing up. We are going to provide the ultimate exposure for fighters, for ourselves, for everyone. This is huge.
Nuts, man. Ron Peters says alcohol is going to be your biggest moneymaker in the new place. That's very possible.
We are part of the reason why we went down this path is because we see the numbers. We see what we put in, how much we spend to have a show versus how much everyone makes, how much we make, how much the venues make, and that's, we put in all the effort, and having those additional revenue streams is going to be a game changer.
Yeah. And I do want to say that, should we get into
Yeah.
I don't know
let's
what
just
you're
say it. Let's
thinking.
just say it. Let's just say it.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that we're only ever going to have events at our venue.
True.
We do have some shows in place that we still want to have out at venues that we currently work with.
Yes.
So these shows at our venue will typically be, and I'm sure, we'll have like an all-star card or something here and there, but they will typically be smaller cards, maybe like an all-amateur 8-fight card, something like that. Like, just more regularity to it, more of a cadence to it.
And not necessarily that we're going to have all AMI shows, but
Right.
we can have smaller shows more often. And the initial plan off the bat, once we get in there, which could be January, February, March, we're not sure yet. But the initial plan is an MMA show once a month.
Yep.
So 12 MMA shows in 1 year.
Yep. Exactly.
And some of them will be 7-fight cards, and some of them might be 11 fights. With the ability to have shows that don't have to sell as many tickets as we're used to selling, having a smaller venue to host those, we can have those more regularly, have smaller shows, and everyone's happy.
Yep. I think the capacity will feel a lot like the Meadows shows in terms of the tightness, the intimacy of it. It's not a giant venue. It's not like a Monroeville Convention Center size place. So it is going to feel very tight and packed in there, which we love. That's a very positive thing.
I get the for those of you that are wrestling fans and like longtime wrestling fans, back in the feeling I think we're going to get there is, if you used to watch in Philadelphia, there used to be a promotion what's the name? What was the name of Heyman's promotion?
ECW.
ECW, where it's like a packed crowd and it's like balconies and all. Like our balconies are gonna be like
So sick.
I'm so excited about our balconies. Like
too.
it's awesome. It's going. This venue is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible, and we're super stoked, and we know you guys are gonna love it. So keep your fingers crossed that all this stuff happens. We're super stoked.
Jesse said, I thought the announcement was going to be me versus Jim in the cage.
That is the next announcement.
I think we could get that. We could get those contracts signed too, I think.
I think
Absolute
I think
division.
Jesse wrecks that old man.
Absolute division. Jesse's got to weigh like one.
Bring it on.
Jesse's a straw weight.
So just to fill you guys in, Jesse and Jim are like they're like father and son. Like
Yeah.
they'll fight and then be friends later. And like,
Stepson.
yeah. And like those two are like oil and water sometimes. They'll
Yeah.
be screaming at each other and then like,
Especially-
you know how guys are. We go at each other's throats and we forgive each other 2 seconds later.
Especially on fight night. Like the stress of a fight day
Yeah.
just heightens everything.
The one time I guess those two were like screaming at each other like in front of other people, and other people were like, "What the heck is
happening
wrong
here?
with these?"
Is
two?
this on video?
it's
I wish
on
it
You
World
was.
don't
Star.
have it on video. It never happened.
It's on worldstarhiphop.com.
Is this on Instagram too?
No, it is not.
So it's just Facebook and,
Well, there's an Instagram
and
too.
YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
Okay, I haven't.
Or
Is
Instagram
anyone looking
also.
at YouTube?
I'm looking at Facebook. I'm tracking Facebook.
I'm gonna go into YouTube and see.
So,
Yeah.
So some other things that we could do there would be watch parties. We've done that on our own. We watched, some local fighters,
yep.
going to fight for the big promotion like Kama. We've had watch parties when he's gone out.
Yep.
But we could have watch parties for 247 fighters that are going to what we call the big stage, UFC.
Yep.
So
And with that being a full service sports bar, like we can do a lot of different things. Like we're gonna be open for different events, Super Bowl. Like we're gonna have a big football. Like that's the plan. We plan on this being a great place for lunchtime, for sporting events, for all these things. We're actually, for those of you that have been watching the podcast for a long time, we went through a series we did called
Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems, and we went over to different things for their proper nouns. I don't know any of those. We went to a bunch of different places and visited before we had the podcast studio. We visited different places and tried their food and reported on it and did all that stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And so we got to meet a lot of like local business restaurant owners. And so we have some connections to some of the best hidden gems
Yep.
that we are potential for options for our restaurant that they, we're going to work out the details, but we're going to have good food there. Let's just say that.
Look at us. You think we're going to have a venue without good food? The good food is like a staple in our being. So, yeah, the food's going to be awesome.
No one really likes not good food though.
That's true. But some people just are like indifferent about it. They eat for fuel, which is weird.
Stop the fuel thing, okay?
Oh man, it was a process for sure. I think back of like all the other things we looked at several venues. First of all, we looked at having a show at like a Stage AE. Like we talked about Stage AE for a little while. We talked about a lot of different things, and ultimately this is the one that we kept coming back to that was like
And we
this is the
also looked at some venues. We talked with some people who are interested in building a venue for us.
right.
We talked to some people that were interested in different things. The structure of the venue that we ended up with is we fell in love with, honestly, and that became what we wanted. It wasn't like what we had to do, but that's where we wanted to be. So getting a deal done was important.
So it's the most attractive option, but also it's by far the most work for us option. Like, we have also now selected the path that's going to require the most out of us. So it's a huge challenge too. As excited as we are, we're already talking about the hurdles, the challenges. We're going to need to be even more buttoned up than we are right now, for sure. The little things that slip through the cracks now and then can no longer slip through the cracks. They just can't. So this is going to, like I said, it's going to result in a better 247 fighting product anyway, and not the outside shows as well. So
I think you guys, that are watching are used to seeing what our shows are all about and the type of organization that we strive to be, and the level of output that we're reaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are not satisfied ever. Like, we want to keep raising the bar. We want to do better than we did last show. We want to keep improving at all times. We want every aspect to get better and better and better. So we're under no delusion that this is going to be some kind of cakewalk or just make things easy. We actually know that this is going to make everything a lot more difficult.
Yep.
And so we're ready for the challenge. This is going to be a fun ride.
A true event center. It's going to make it easier for the fans, almost like a one-stop shop, because of all the things that you mentioned, all the combat sports that we're going to do. Plus, there's a whole bunch of ideas we have for entertainment outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you also mentioned the good food, which I hope we don't do the incredibly putrid ale, though, the alcohol.
No, the IPA.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
right.
Incredibly.
Isn't that what it
putrid ale.
stands for?
It is, yeah. But
So-
it's like when you call a giant guy tiny, it's like the ironic name where it's actually delicious, but yeah.
It's like jumbo shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never found one that is good. But that's something that is going to be.
That's
Yeah, because part of Miller the Lite is experience so there.
good.
Miller
is,
Lite.
Can I have
Blue Moon,
High
please.
Life?
Yeah.
Blue Moon, yeah.
Could you put orange with my Blue Moon, please?
Extra orange.
do it,
I don't
Danny.
want to taste the beer. Extra orange,
I
please.
just tempted Danny. He
No, he's
got
doing
that
it.
finger
He's doing
on
it. I
him.
see that trigger finger. Don't do it, Danny Palm.
Don't do it! Don't do it!
Oh
he's
man,
not doing it.
He's not good enough. What? Do we have anything to add to this, boys? I mean, we got the good people on their lunch break. A lot of people seem very excited about it. Thank you for that. Thank you for tuning in. And we did announce some fights too. So
Share this video with your friends, family, anyone that's fighters. Share this video with. This is a game changer for everyone, not just us. If you are a fighter in Pittsburgh, you're going to get exposure like never before. You're going to have opportunities to fight like never before. Fighters that we could not regularly match are now, it's now possible because we're going to have more opportunities. We're going to have tons of opportunities for you to get on cards.
Yep.
So the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and also if you know people who want to be on board sponsor-wise, you know friends that own businesses that like fights, things like that, we'll always send them our way and see what we can do. Like I said, this is going to make sponsorships a lot more attractive because of the amount of eyes that are constantly going to be in that place. And also, like we're talking about food and beverage, we do have lines in the water, but nothing concrete. If you know somebody that's a local brewer that they want to partner with something like this, let's talk. Our options are pretty wide open right now, and that's very exciting on that level. So let's build this. Let's do this thing right and have some fun at the Carlisle Center.
Into the great wide open.
We're calling it the Carlisle Center until we have an actual name.
Yeah,
It's the Carlisle
Center for now.
For now.
Timbo Slice, dude, these people are on point today with like picking things out. He said aerial camera ?
We've
we
already,
literally
yes.
just talked about that.
All of those things have been discussed, but keep the ideas coming.
Yes.
You may throw stuff out that we haven't dreamt about yet. So,
Ron Peters wants a fight with us. Let's go. Let's match Ron.
folks, thank you all for tuning in. Please share this video with everyone. Share this on your Facebook. Share this on your Instagram. Share everything. We could use the buzz, and it's going to be exciting times for all of you gyms, fighters, all of that. Opportunities are endless with this. There's so much we can do with this. We haven't even tapped. That's why the post the other day said we've only just begun. We've literally dipped our toes in the water of where this thing's going. Jump on board if you haven't already. It's going to be a fun ride.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.